Hello and welcome back to a brand new Round 2 Wrestling podcast here on the 19th of March, 2024. I am your host with the most wrestling information, SlimmDa KID, and for those of you who have never heard my podcast, let me break it down for you super quick. Round 2 Wrestling is very similar to a news-style broadcast. We have 4 segments, or in this case, 4 rounds. Round 1 is the pro wrestling rumor mill. This could be actual, factual news. It could be bullshit. It's up to you, the fan, to decide what you'd like to believe. Move on to Round 2, pro wrestling news. This is confirmed news from accredited well-known writers and accredited well-known news outlets, brought to you exclusively by Round 2 Wrestling. Move on to Round 3, title matches. Did your favorite promotion have a title defense this past week or weekend? We here at Round 2 Wrestling have done the homework for you and have those exclusive results brought to you by Round 2 Wrestling and me, SlimmDa KID. This is a shorter Round 2 Wrestling, so we have time for Round 4, which is a fan and producer favorite. Round 4 is Did You Know Pro Wrestling Facts? However, we are going to kick things off by putting our ear to the scanner and taking a listen to the gossip and the rumors. This is Round 1, the Pro Wrestling Rumor Mill. Here we go. From Monopoly Events, WWE's Shelton Benjamin said the door is open to signing with AEW. The expectation remains that he will end up there in the foreseeable future. The head of Minnesota Sports and Events, or MNSE, confirmed to the Star Tribune that they submitted a pitch for Minneapolis to host next year's WrestleMania 41. WrestleTix points out that WWE is going with a smaller than normal stage setup for SmackDown, Money in the Bank, and NXT Heatwave in Toronto this July. This will allow them to get more than 18,000 people in Scotiabank Arena's reserved seats. Per F4W Online, this June's Forbidden Door event will include STARDOM and CMLL wrestlers. It's believed that more than one STARDOM wrestler will also be scheduled for the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor pay-per-view on April 5th. PW Insider says WWE is planning to bring in the following legends for WrestleMania week. These include, but are not limited to, JBL, Ron Simmons, Michelle McCool, Kane, and Jimmy Hart. Dave Meltzer mentioned there were 9,500 fans in attendance for the AEW debut of Mercedes Moné at last week's Big Business episode of Dynamite at TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. WWE is considering changes to their premium live event pre-shows that could be implemented as soon as this year, per PW Insider Elite. WWE is said to be looking at ESPN's College Game Day as a model. So this is an interesting rumor. We will be sure to keep our ear to the scanner and we'll update you on any more rumors or news pertaining to this specific rumor. PW Insider says a ticketing issue is to blame for May TNA TV taping events not going on sale as scheduled this past weekend. Once it's resolved, a new on-sale date will be announced. So for those who are fans of TNA, hold tight. It sounds like a change will be coming sooner rather than later. That's it. That draws to a conclusion Round 1 in the Pro Wrestling Rumor Mill. Again, not a lot to think about or chew over, but what we did have is worthy of cooler talk. Moving on to something a little bit more confirmed and real, this is Round 2 Pro Wrestling News. Here we go. AAA champion forced to vacate title.
That's fucking stupid.
AAA recently announced on social media that AAA Mega Champion El Hijo del Vikingo had to relinquish his title due to a knee injury that requires surgery. Vikingo's AAA Mega Championship reign lasted 833 days, the longest title reign in its history. Vikingo looks to be on IR for the next 5 to 9 months. It may be late 2024 before we see him in a ring again. WWE announces 5 events in Europe for summer 2024.
You what?
That's right. WWE will host Bash in Berlin, a pay-per-view, live August 2024. Before they get to Berlin, Germany, however, WWE has announced several more stops across the European continent. These include August 25th at the Ahoy Arena in Rotterdam, Netherlands, August 26th at Forest National in Brussels, Belgium, August 27th at the Rudolf Weber Arena in Oberhausen, Germany, August 28th at the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart, Germany, and August 29th at the Festhalle in Frankfurt, Germany. Current WWE wrestler and former MMA fighter Shayna Baszler to appear at GCW Bloodsport during WrestleMania 40 week.
You what?
WWE has a history of not working with other promotions, especially indie promotions. However, WWE and GCW announced 3 days ago that Shayna Baszler, currently signed to WWE, will appear at Bloodsport 10 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. No news as to what her involvement will be, but due to the nature of the current WWE-GCW relationship, Baszler may not be the only WWE wrestler to appear at GCW Bloodsport X. AEW wrestler breaks foot, has to postpone climbing Mount Everest.
That's fucking stupid.
Bad news for AEW's Darby Allin. TMZ Sports reports that the AEW wrestler broke his foot during his matchup against Jay White on this past Wednesday's Big Business special. Allin confirmed this news on social media a day or two later. Allin adds that his very anticipated climb of Mount Everest, which has been planned for a year now, is now delayed with no new date being announced. We here at Round 2 Wrestling hope a speedy recovery for AEW's Darby Allin. Former WCW legend starts GoFundMe page for emergency surgery.
That's fucking stupid.
Lucha Libre legend and former WCW wrestler Psychosis recently suffered a broken hip and is in need of an emergency surgery. His good friend Ruben Zamora from Masked Republic has launched a GoFundMe page to help Psychosis with the costs. Zamora would later go on to reiterate what a good person and wrestler Psychosis is, and that all donations, 100%, will go directly to his medical costs and the cost of rehab. Please visit Psychosis' GoFundMe page for more info on how you too can donate to this lucha legend. TNA Wrestling and Arena Football League announce partnership.
You what?
Arena Football League team the Albany Firebirds and TNA are teaming up for 3 nights of, quote, action-packed entertainment, end quote. And this will happen May 2nd through the 4th. Current TNA champion Moose and AJ Francis will be the honorary captains for the Albany Firebirds of the Arena Football League for the team's home game on Thursday, May 2nd against the Nashville Cats. The Firebirds will be present at the TNA wrestling shows in Albany Friday and Saturday, May 3rd. This draws to a conclusion Round 2 and pro wrestling news. We are going to jump right into Round 3 title matches. However, warning, This next segment may contain spoilers for your favorite promotions and pay-per-views, including results from AEW, Ring of Honor, WWE, NXT, TNA, MLW, NWA, AAA, CMLL, New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, STARDOM, RevPro, etc., etc. NXT North American Champion Obi Fema defeats Brooks Jensen to retain the NXT North American Championship. NWA United States Tag Team Champions The Immortals versus Daisy Kill and Talos ended up in a double disqualification. NWA US Tag Team Champions The Immortals retain. MLW Middleweight Champion Mystico defeated Golden Angel to retain the MLW Middleweight Championship. AEW World Champion Samoa Joe defeated Wardlow to retain the AEW World Championship. TNA X Division Champion Mustafa Ali defeated Chris Sabin to retain the TNA X Division Championship. TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champion Spitfire defeated B. Moss and Vanna Black to retain the TNA Knockouts Tag Team titles. AEW TBS Champion Julia Hart defeated Trish Adora to retain the AEW TBS Championship. AAA Latin American Champion Octagon Jr. defeated Mecha Wolf to retain the AAA Latin American Championship. That's it. That is the end of round 3. This has to be the shortest round 3 title matches and their results in the history of round 2 wrestling. However, that leaves a lot of time for round 4. Round 4 is Did You Know Pro Wrestling Facts. Did you know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. Little confusion, but you gotta love the bell. Did you know WCW/WWE wrestler Raven holds the record for most singles title reigns in WWE history with 27 hardcore title reigns? Did you know Mark Calloway's The Undertaker character debuted in WWF in 1990? However, in 1974, Hans Schroeder, who wrestled for the then WWF, wrestled briefly under the name The Undertaker. Did you know Barry Horowitz wrestled under the name Bret Hart early on in his career? He changed it to Jack Hart after causing mass confusion and near riots when wrestling in Canadian territories. Did you know the WWE World title is approximately 66 years old? Bruno Sammartino held the title for 11 of those years, or approximately 20% of its entire history. Did you know former WWE wrestler Jack Swagger pinned Big E to win the Intercontinental title at a WWE house show in 2014? However, GM Brad Maddox restarted the match and Big E pinned Swagger to retain the title. The title change has never been officially recognized by WWE. Did you know former WWF/WCW wrestler Haku works as a car detailist at David Mouse Toyota in Sanford, Florida? Did you know after retiring at age 40, WWE Hall of Famer and fabulous freebird Jimmy Garvin received his pilot's license and flew commercial airlines for the second half of his career? Did you know Medusa, former WWF Women's Champion and IWA Women's Champion, now works as a monster truck driver across the country? And did you know current AEW coach and former Too Cool member Scotty 2 Hotty became a firefighter and EMT in the state of Florida? Thank you for tuning in to this brand new Round 2 Wrestling. I am your host with the most wrestling information, SlimmDa KID, and I want to remind you to be sure to tune in next week as I bring you more news, more rumors, and more results from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID and Spreaker.com.